I'm coming. Hold. I'm here. It's just me. Hello, everyone. Yes, the background's different, but this is still the Quest Show. So, hi, everyone. Welcome to the Quest Show. I am your host, solo, Lana Quest. Honor had some personal business to attend to, so it is just me on tonight. This is going to be a quick show because it's the NBA playoffs. We can't just be here just rambling on while the Celtics are playing. Like, what is this? So I do want to catch the game. I'm sure folks out there want to catch the games and not listen to me all night ramble on about the craziness of this week. But before we get into the craziness of this week, I want to ask you to like, share, and subscribe this video. Like, why not? Share it, like it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. You know, there's some great content here. We try to get on every week. Sometimes life happens and we just can't, but I wanted to get on this week, even if it was for a brief time, because we were not on last week. So here I am. And up to the last minute, look at me. I am so tired. I was saying to myself, go live or not go live. Tape it and then just put it up later. I don't know. But here I am. So bear with me. I am not that organized. I never am. Honor is the one who is organized, but I'll try to make this work. So anyway, this week I have some notes. They're not great notes because, again, you know, it's just me. I'm not great at the notes. But let's start with some good stuff. Let's do that because there was some craziness, but there was also some good things that happened this week. Biden announced his re-election bid. Did you guys see that video? It had like Kamala like front and center. So that was amazing. And it was amazing for a lot of reasons. Like, it was just a good video in general. Very optimistic, you know. The administration wants to finish what they've started. They have a lot, they've accomplished a lot, but there's a lot more to do. And they realize that. So, yeah, that's what it was. Very optimistic. We're going to get things done. Go, team, go. But Kamala being front and center, doing what she does in that video, to me, represented Biden kind of passing the torch, but not passing the torch, right? It's like letting people know, listen, Kamala is doing her thing in this administration, and I want y'all to know that she's doing her thing. And if I was not running for president, she would be running for president. So he was definitely, yeah, Artie, I'm solo today. Hi, Walter. I know I'm all by myself. Guys, this is going to be really quick because the Celtics they're on tonight. I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock. So, it's 8 o'clock now. So I'm going to try to rush through this news. I don't have the quotes. I'm sorry because Honor's not here. Just found out yesterday it was going to be a solo show. So, you know, I ramble. So whatever the case is, did you guys see the video? Biden's re-election bid. I was just talking about how Kamala was front and center, and I just got the feeling that Biden was introducing the world to our future president while he was announcing his election bid. Like, that's how it felt. You know, it's just the media is just so, they can't just be like, yay. They have to be like, yay. But the polls say that 68% of the people are concerned about Biden's age, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's so interesting. Polling is very, it doesn't catch all of the things. So there could be legitimately 68% of Democrats who are independents who are very concerned about Biden's age. I get it. But then if you go back and poll these same people and say, hey, you're very concerned about Biden's age. However, would you still vote for Biden? They will say yes. Like, so, the polling's just not, it's kind of not that accurate, right? Like, are we concerned about Biden's age? Yes. I would be, if my grandma was alive, I would be concerned about her with her age. Like, it's 80. Of course, there is a concern, but it's not a concern that he cannot do the job as the president of the United States. He still has all of his faculties. Do you guys know who John Finney is? Let me tell you, John Finney practiced law until he died, and he died at like 110. He had over a dozen law degrees. So come on, have y'all seen Trump? He's right behind him. You don't hear Republicans running around talking about Trump is too old. They would never say that. So what are we talking about here? Biden is just fine because you know what? They're doing the thing. Let's talk about some of the things that he's done. Like, my goodness, the CHIPS bill, the PAC bill, Reed and Griner, home, and Inflation Reduction Act, insulin cost capped. What else? The student loan forgiveness that, Republicans are blocking that, but he's trying. Diverse judges, like, it's just so much and things that I don't even remember. But the alternative is what? What is the alternative, everyone? What is the alternative? And we're complaining about Biden's age because at this point, he can't do anything about his age. He's fucking old. What are you going to do? What? Get younger? Is there a fountain of youth somewhere? There's not. The alternative is Trump. Trump is going to be the Republican nominee. And even if it's not Trump, if it was DeSantis, it's still Trump. Like, it doesn't. Tim Scott, Mike Pence, Nikki Haley, it is still Trump. It is still Trumpism. And what are we going to get with Trumpism? Let's see. 12-year-olds maybe being allowed to marry. Maybe 10-year-olds being forced to give birth to their rapist's baby. What else do they do? Loosening child labor laws. I mean, Republicans are losing their mind right now. Like, just lose. Every time you turn around, there's some crazy thing. Like, they want children to have babies, work long hours in factories, even places that, well, actually, they're allowing them to work at places where they can serve alcohol too. Children work in slaughterhouses, work long hours. What else do they want children to do? Oh, be able to marry at like 12. Is it Iowa or Idaho where there's no age limit to carry a weapon? Like, there's just none. So toddlers can technically carry a gun. The Republicans don't care. What are they? They don't. Hey, just do it. That's what Republicans say. They don't care. But when it comes to abortion, too young. Remember the Florida teen? She went all the way to appeals court to get an abortion in Florida. And they told her that she was not mature enough. She was adopted, so she didn't have any parents. So she wasn't mature enough. But kids can get married and carry AR-15s and work at slaughterhouses. You see the nonsense? Like, that's really a Republican presidency. And did you guys see I don't know, is it called a rebuttal video? So Biden puts out his re-election video and the Republican Party or the GOP puts out their video. That was AI, like a whole AI computer generated video that was like dark and menacing. And you hear like police and sirens and brown people running across the border and fentanyl zombies walking around, and Biden's like this crazy grin on his face. It's like, this shit again? Doesn't this stuff get old with Republicans? Like, it's not a winning strategy, but that's the only strategy that they have. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. They know it's not a winning strategy, but they literally cannot do anything else. Imagine if they just did an uplifting video like, we're going to get America to blah, 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 and it's going to be a more diverse and equal. Like, what if they did something, or even just lighten up the video a little bit? They just can't. They go back to that hole in the wall because ultimately it's who they are. They can't do anything else because that's who they've become. That's unfortunate. Hi, Mary. Hey, I'm by myself. Quick show because I keep saying quick show, then I'll be here until 8. The Celtics are on. So please move on to the next story because I'll talk too much. So that's Biden and Kamala. What else happened? Oh, Tucker Carlson got fired. I guess that's big news. No. So Tucker Carlson got the can on, I believe it was a Monday. First, no one was saying he got fired. Fox put out a statement on Monday saying that they parted ways. Now everyone is confirming that he, in fact, has gotten fired. There's so many different ideas around why this happened. They're saying, maybe it's his emails and text messages that have come out, and some of these hearings with him calling his boss the C word and things like that. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that had something to do with it, like something, but is that really a big deal? It's like Tucker Carlson. Are we really saying that's the worst thing that he said in those texts and emails? I kind of doubt it. I doubt it very seriously that is the worst thing that Tucker Carlson has said. They played, I think it was on Joy Reid, and she played a video, and this was after the Tennessee 3 had gotten expelled and they were doing their media rounds. And Tucker Carlson said about Justin Pearson, he said, he's out here talking like he's Martin Luther King Jr. and he's sounding like a sharecropper. So to me, that is far worse than calling any woman the C word, because what is that? Like, who cares about that? Tucker's a racist. He's a bigot. He's awful. So what it probably is just a whole big culmination of those things, the C word, right? Which was tolerated. Like, they tolerated all of that for the longest because honestly, I work for a law firm, I work for a company. What I don't do is write things in my emails that I don't want my employer to read. Why? Because they can read them. They can do that. They can look at your emails whenever they want. They don't need your permission. It is their system. So it's hard for me to believe that Tucker has some emails that they didn't know about. That's just very strange. I mean, maybe the fact that they're coming out now, but it's definitely some more to the story that we are going to hear about. And also, one of the bigger things I think is that compounded with, I think Tucker got too big for his britches. Like, that's just really what it is. He just thought he was the man walking around there, and you are not going to be the man walking around in the place and costing your company a lot of money, that means that now you're baggage, and we have to cut you loose because you're going to continue to cost us money because there are some more lawsuits in the horizon for Fox News. And you know what? Who cares? Who cares about Fox? Who cares about Tucker? Bye. Like, I just love that they're warring with each other. I hope that Tucker Carlson comes out and has so much dirt on Rupert Murdoch and the rest of those fools there. And I hope that Fox turns around and has a bunch of dirt on Tucker Carlson. I love the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene right now is hating Fox News, and so is Trump. And they're actually calling Fox News woke news. They're calling Fox woke. So to watch these people go to war, we love to see it. Like, just keep on going right on down into 2024. We love to see it. It's amazing. I'm just gonna read some of you guys' DMs. Tuckum's been booted. It was glorious. It sure was. DeSantis is being sued by Mickey. I saw that, and I don't know if that's even in my notes, Walter, but thank you. And that is amazing. Let's talk about that for a minute. Hey, Michelle, I'm by myself. Yeah, let's talk about that. I don't have that in my notes, so it's gonna be a ramble. Let's talk about how this all began with Ron DeSantis and Disney World, because who does this? It all began with Ron DeSantis. Remember, he wanted to prevent white discomfort, and then he had the Don't Say Gay bill and just all of the nonsense. Well, it was more the Don't Say Gay bill. I'm sorry, I'm confusing the racism with the bigotry. Forgive me. All right. So, yes, Don't Say Gay bill. So Disney was like, we support the queer community. We're in support of them. DeSantis is like, are you going to be in Florida and support the gays, right? Now DeSantis is upset with Disney World because some reason DeSantis thinks governor equals being a king. Not sure. So he wanted to punish Disney World for supporting the queer community because he went against DeSantis. Now, all of that is just whack just on his face because, like, dude, you're a whole governor. What is wrong with you? Why are you fighting with Disney World? So then he's like, well, I'm going to punish you. So what I'm going to do is take your, I guess, the district that Disney World is in control of, because apparently Disney World controls so many acres of this district. Like, they have a whole district and they control the district so that, around Disney World, no one is putting up, I don't know, hostels or seedy hotels or bars and things like that. So they want to control a radius around Disney World. Nothing's wrong with that. Guess who else does that? The villages. The villages control the district surrounding the villages. Ron DeSantis isn't saying anything about the villages. You know why he's not saying anything about the villages? Because it's about a bunch of old retired Republicans that live there. So he's not trying to control the villages. Daytona, they control a radius around Daytona. They control that. Ron DeSantis is not trying to take that away from them. Only Disney, because Disney supported the queer community, and that pisses Ron DeSantis off, like to no end. To like, how long has this been going on that he has been fighting with Mickey Mouse? It's just been insanity. So before DeSantis tried to do his hostile takeover of the district surrounding Disney World real quick, I don't know the wording of this, drew up some contracts or whatever, limiting power of the people that Ron DeSantis put in place to control the district surrounding Disney World. So Disney World stopped him. They can't touch him. Ron DeSantis gets pissed off about that. So just now Disney is at the point this week where they're like, you know what? This ends now. We're going to sue Ron DeSantis for basically, it's like he's harassing them, right? It's like a company, private company, he's mad at them. It's government overreach. You're retaliating against them for the way they run their company. It's the way they run their company. Like, does he want to run Disney World out of Florida? I mean, I know it's not the biggest employer in Florida, but it is a big source of revenue for Florida. What is? Like, how about dealing with the flood in Fort Lauderdale? Has the gas shortage eased up? Because Florida was having a gas shortage. Because remember, Ron DeSantis, he was traveling around trying to sell his book. He had a book tour while Fort Lauderdale was flooding. Ron DeSantis came back into town that night that Fort Lauderdale had flooded to sign a 6-week abortion ban and then fly right back out. Fort Lauderdale, who? What? Fort Lauderdale? What is that? Is that a part of Florida? I don't care. He just like he left. And then because of the floods, and not to mention it's not just floods, right? You have people dealing with insurance companies, and Florida already has a problem with insurance companies because the condos that what happened with the condos? Like the didn't they just like fall down? What happened with that? What happened with those insurance claims? With the weather, insurance is very high. A lot of people don't even have home insurance there or cannot get it. I don't live in Florida, so I don't know all the suffering in Florida, but I know that there is suffering in Florida. And then on top of that, there's gas shortages. And then he's doing an international tour now. So he went off of his book tour to go to Japan. I think he was in Jerusalem today. I think he's going to the United Kingdom. Like he's just like, he and his family are just chilling while Floridians suffer. Why y'all voting for him? DeSantis won by what? 1.5 million votes or something? And like 5 million people did not vote. I hope y'all are registering to vote because he really, he's doing y'all dirty. He's doing y'all dirty, Florida. Who lives in Florida in the chat? Number one in Florida, Ron Cruz. Yeah, seriously, he took off like Cancun cruise. Ron Cruz running off to Mexico. Absolutely. So let's go. Oh, Don Lemon was fired too. How y'all feel about Don Lemon out there? I actually thought he was going to get in trouble. I recall him making some misogynist comments on the air on CNN before, but I guess that was okay. But now he got fired, and they're saying maybe it's because he was in a sparring match with did y'all know that somebody was running for president as a Republican against Donald Trump other than Ron DeSantis and Tim Scott and Pence? Like there's another guy. His name is Vivek Ramsani. Who's that guy? Y'all know who that is? I don't know. But Don Lemon had him on his show, and Vivek, the Republican candidate, was trying to tell Don Lemon that I guess basically he was saying blacks were free after the Civil War. Yeah. Yeah. So Don Lemon pushed back really hard because you lying. And then he tried to say, Vivek, not only were blacks free after the Civil War, the NRA helped them to be free. So that's what the rumor is. I don't know what the real issue is, but it may track, right? Because they're saying that although the new owner of CNN, supposedly a Democrat, I don't know. I guess CNN is trying to move in the space of having more Republicans on their show, having their journalists not be stars, but just talk about the news, not be about me and trying to get that, media moment or those likes and those clicks. They just want to have the Republican voice as well as the Democratic voice. I don't know if any of that is true. I am just saying what I have read and what I have heard on the different news outlets. Let me know what you guys hear in the chat. Oh, here we go. Don Lemon have been fired if right-leaning Chris. Yeah, I mean, is he right-leaning? People keep saying he's not right-leaning. That's why I'm so confused. They're saying he's not, but he seems like he is right-leaning. I don't know. You guys let me know, because I don't watch CNN, because it really did start to feel weird. Like when you watch and it's like they'll have a Republican on there and then they'll let them just lie about stuff like that. That's kind of disturbing to me. So let's move on. What else happened this week? You guys hear about Gorsuch? Because it wasn't on last week. So, it came out that Clarence Thomas has been accepting all these gifts and $1 million trips and not reporting not any of it. So, of course, the Democrats are calling for him to resign. They want to have Roberts come for a hearing to talk about like Supreme Court ethics, because there is no ethics on the Supreme Court. What we talking about right now? That's just done. Is dead on arrival. There are no ethics. Roberts is not going to talk to anyone. Nothing is going to happen to Clarence Thomas. And here we go. Now, what? Gorsuch? What's going on with Gorsuch? Let's check. Gorsuch, a Supreme Court judge, these people who are not supposed to be bought and paid for, they're not supposed to be accepting these things, because it seems like, you can buy them and then a court comes in front of them and they can, some type of case comes in front of them and they can rule in your favor. So at Gorsuch, I guess a firm that has had numerous cases before his court, he knew this firm, I guess, and this goes back to 2015, and forgive me because I have to read my notes because I can't remember everything that happened with this. But I guess back in 2015, Gorsuch and his wife were trying to sell a 40-acre property, and they were trying to sell this property for 2 years. In comes this big law firm that bought his property, and they bought the property, I guess, 9 days after Gorsuch was confirmed to the Supreme Court. So I guess Gorsuch must have been confirmed in like 2017 or something like that. 9 days later, this law firm bought this property. And then over a span of time, there were like 22 cases involving this law firm that went to the Supreme Court. And in 12 of the cases, Gorsuch sided with this law firm. I mean, the interesting thing is, I'm pretty sure this happens more than not, and we just never find out about it. Can somebody tell Congress? Because Congress is somewhere chasing, what is Congress doing right now? I don't even know. Fighting climate change. I haven't heard about Hunter's laptop, so I'm not too sure what's going on. They're not visiting any prisons. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they should be looking at the Supreme Court and seeing what's happening. I don't know. I don't know. So that did happen. What time is it, guys? It's 8:32. Oh my God, I said I would hurry up. What else happened? Throw out. Ooh, Fani Willis. What y'all think? Did you guys hear about that? She set a new timetable for possible indictments. They think that, so remember they were saying that they believed she was going to do it the first week of May, but she just sent a letter to, I guess, local authorities telling them that between July, some date, and September, some date, to increase police presence. So everyone is saying that that is signaling that an indictment is forthcoming. They're saying that the issue may be, so Fani is having an issue with the fake electors. So I guess 10 of the fake electors are being represented by one attorney, which is problematic because what's going on is the fake electors are turning on each other. So if you only have one attorney, it's a conflict because if one of your clients is saying, I want to testify against that one, or, or whatever the case is, I'm testifying against them 9, so I don't get in trouble. They can't represent both of you guys to the best of their ability. Like, it just can't happen. And that is the issue, because Fani Willis is saying that she had offered immunity. There were immunity offers to some of the fake electors, and their attorney did not tell them that, because the attorney probably doesn't want any of them talking about each other. She doesn't want any of them to, or he, I don't know if it's a she or he, but the fake electors attorney does not want them to take any offers, I'm sure. So I believe Fani is trying to get this attorney like recused because there's a big conflict. So they're saying that this is possibly what's going to be holding this up, because she can't do this right now in the midst of all of this mess. And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, just think about this, y'all. Trump must be going to sleep every night in the fetal position. How is he not? How does he not just like, how is he not under this much duress? This is insane. I don't know. And then to top it off, you have Fani Willis like saying, yeah, this is July through September. This is coming this summer. So put your golf clubs up, because you're going to have other things that you have to do this summer instead of playing golf. So he's got that. Then, well, I don't know if I want to do, let's go to his rape case before we get to Pence. Jean Carroll. That is going on today. So the Republican nominee, and we're saying that because, come on, let's face it, is it really going to be Ron DeSantis? Is Trump really going to let that happen? Ron DeSantis is failing on all levels. I mean, just all of the levels. He's awakened the Black folks in Florida are pissed at him. Black moms are pissed at him. All the queers are pissed at him. College students are pissed at him. Definitely women are pissed at him because he flied back to doggone sign this 6-week abortion ban, virtually banning abortion. Like, because let's be real, 6 weeks, is there anyone who finds out they're pregnant in 6 weeks? Like, who does that? I remember, my children trying to get pregnant. And then when I found out I was pregnant, it not being 6 weeks, right? And that's me trying to be pregnant, and I still missed the 6-week window. So if you're not even trying to get pregnant, how are you going to be in that 6-week window? What if you are a child? What if you're a teenager? You don't even know your body. What if your periods are irregular? Because, that's the thing. That's the thing with women. Some women only ovulate, but it's supposed to be once a month. Some may ovulate once every 4 months. You will not know within that 6-week window if you are pregnant. A woman's body is complex. That is why government should not be in a woman's body. It's not one shoe fits all. That's not how this works. And we talk about this all the time. And every time I talk about it, I think about something new, like that irregular period. We didn't even talk about that before, but that is a thing because that was me, right? I did not get periods. I just didn't. So there's no way I would know when I was pregnant because it's just like, well, I don't get it anyway. So you don't know. So it's not giving you an opportunity. That gives no one an opportunity. Abortion is banned in Florida. And then they have a nerve, and I know we weren't on last week, and I think last week was when they were trying to ban the abortion pill, and now that's on hold because the Supreme Court, I'm not going to say they did the right thing, but for now, it's on hold. It's not the abortion pill. It's used for more than just that. Like, it's so insane. Like, I was reading a story about, I know I'm off topic, but I was reading a story about a woman in Florida. She's in Florida. She's pregnant, wanted her baby. She wanted a baby. And this is before the 6-week ban. This is when it was a 15-week ban. She wanted a child. She was pregnant, happy to be having a child. Problems arose. She ended up in the hospital at 18 weeks, miscarrying. 18 weeks. So now she's past the 15-week in Florida because she is 18 weeks. And the doctors are like, nothing we can do. This is nothing they can do. Like, there's nothing they can do without either losing their license or going to jail. So they have to send her home with antibiotics and pills. And because she gave an interview and she's like, they're sending me home. And she could tell that they felt bad, but she's asking them, well, what do I do? So if I have this baby that's not alive, what do I do with it? Like, what do I do with it? You're sending me home. So if this miscarriage continues, what do I do? Do I flush it? Do I throw it in the trash? Like, what happens now? Like, that's how insane this is. So she went home, a Black woman. She figured, you know what? They're going to kill me. I'm just going to die. I'm going to have an infection. I'm going to get sepsis and I'm going to die. So she started making plans. She literally went to the hair salon and said, you know what? If I die, I don't want my mom to have to deal with doing my hair and taking care of that kind of stuff. She's in the salon, started feeling sick, went into the bathroom, and that's where it happened, in the bathroom toilet. Like, this is Republican policy. Women going through this. Just the other day, I think it was yesterday, the Texas woman who is suing Texas because, again, another woman who wanted to have her child, happy to be pregnant, her water broke early. Too early to have that child. Too early for a C-section. But it broke. Nothing, they couldn't take it. Couldn't do it because the baby still had a heartbeat. And in Texas, there's a heartbeat law. The baby wasn't going to be born alive because it wasn't time. I think she was like 6 weeks or maybe 8. I'm not certain about it, but it was too soon. We all know that there's a time limit that a baby actually could be born and the chances of survival are a little greater. She was way below that. She was only a few weeks pregnant. So she had to go home. And another woman who developed infection who almost died. And she testified in front of the Senate. Ted Cruz walked out. He left. He didn't even listen to her. And she said, Ted Cruz, I just want you to know I almost died on your watch. Lindsey Graham was sleeping. There's a video of him sleeping while she's testifying about what she went through. And it's just not what she went through at that time. Then you have the post-depression, the post-traumatic stress disorder. And now she's struggling to get pregnant again because she's been damaged by the infection. The fuck is wrong with Republicans? Like, and Lindsey Graham is sleeping. Like, I don't care. They don't care. Sorry, I went off. So E. Jean Carroll, E. Jean Carroll testified today and yesterday. I think so the case started, I think Monday they picked a juror. Testimony began. She's been testifying. Today was the cross-examination by Trump's attorney. I can't even believe we're talking about, so I can believe that Trump did this, but it's still hard to connect that an ex-president and then the person who's also the front runner is accused of rape. Like, this is just bizarre. This is a civil case. This isn't the criminal aspect of it because, too much time has lapsed. She described it in great detail. And what I want to talk about, because we all know that this is going on and happening, but what I did want to talk about is Trump's attorney, I forget his name, asking her why she didn't scream. Like, is that the truth teller? Like, is that how you can tell if somebody was victimized or raped? Like, their reaction to it? Like, you didn't scream, so it didn't happen? Well, what the hell is that? Let me tell you something. That's not how that works. It doesn't work like that. Every person is not going to react the same way. And she said it. She's like, I'm not a screamer. And honestly, I'm not a screamer either. I can fall and just get up. Like, I don't scream. I never have. It's just a weird thing. I recall a time where I was I was young, I was like a teenager, sitting in the train station on one of the benches, and a man came and sat next to me. And I'm like, what is that I'm feeling? And I looked down and he had his hand and he was putting his hand underneath me, like under my butt and everything. And that's a total violation. Now, anyone would say, why don't you just get up and scream and hit him? They just got up and walked away, right? Because in the minute, in the moment, you can't even believe you're being violated like that. So to be violated by rape, no, I'm happy that she told her friends, because a lot of people don't even do that. You just carry that thing inside of you until the day you die. Like, that is how rape has been stigmatized. And hopefully, because more women are speaking out, we're pushing back on, stigmatizing it. We're supporting the women to let them know that it is not your fault. I don't care what you wore. There's no such thing as you were asking for it. That's not a thing. It's not a thing. I have to talk to my son about things like that. Like, if a woman says no, it is no. Like, I don't care at what point you're at. It's a hard no. Like, it's just no. You stop, because it is what it is. People change their minds for a while. You be thinking like, oh, I don't want to do this. This is a bad situation. I don't want to do this. It happens. Control yourself. Okay, so that's E. Jean Carroll. Let me go back to the chat. This was supposed to be quick. I'm sorry, everyone. Oh, I don't know how he sleeps, Walter, eating Big Macs full of GMOs. Yeah, they are crew, Mary. I wish Floridians could leave the state. I heard that Dwayne Wade left the state. That's what I heard. But he's rich. It's easy to leave the state. And I was talking to Honor. I'm like, I think that a lot of poor Floridians, because, I know someone who lived in Florida and he was telling me how, like, you have parts that are just beautiful, and then there are parts that are just really, really, really poor. And I'm like, I bet just because the weather is so great, people are just like laps of days ago. They just kind of forget that they're in bad shape. They forget that they're poor. It's just like, wow, it's palm trees. It's beautiful. Right? Instead of like, when you're in the Northeast, you in Massachusetts and you homeless, you just can't sleep in no car in the wintertime. You gonna die. You gonna freeze to death. It is cold right now. It is almost May and we're waking up to 42 degrees. It's a weird thing because a few weeks ago it was 75, but now it's like it's almost freezing. So it ain't easy being homeless in the Northeast. Maybe people in Florida, like the sunny, beautiful weather kind of like makes them lax, but you gotta wake up, guys. Y'all gotta vote because yeah, he doing y'all dirty. Anyway, let's keep going because it's getting late. Did you hear that Michigan has a grand jury right now out? I should have known it. Oh, maybe I forgot it, but I heard it. So Michigan has a secret grand jury probing. Remember when they took them voting machines? So they're probing the breach of the voting machines. Well, Trump, they were just doing all of the things. Like Republicans were doing all of the things, and now all of the things are coming out to light, right? Because we already know what's done in the dark will come out to light. Ain't that right, Ted Cruz? Ain't that right, Ted Cruz? Did my ears deceive me? Did I hear you, Ted Cruz, on some audio? Talking about how to like fix this election in Trump's favor? Was that you, Teddy? Was that you, Ted Cruz? Because I thought I heard that. It's gonna come out. And I also heard, Ted Cruz, that Jack Smith got that audio too. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure Jack Smith has a lot of audio. Speaking of Jack Smith, what time is it? Okay, this is gonna be the last one. Speaking of Jack Smith, Mike Pence testified today because Jack Smith is the man and he got it. So Mike Pence had to testify. He testified from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. in front of a grand jury, Jack Smith's grand jury. So Trump he can't be having a good week. I mean, he wasn't having a good week that Bragg indicted him, and he can't be having a good week now because holy cow, he's got the J6 stuff going on, and Mike Pence testified. That's the end of the line. Like, who else? Your big fish is last. Trump is not going to testify. Mike Pence is the biggest fish. So if he testified, that means there's nowhere else on this J6. It's like we're wrapping up the loose ends at this point. And you know why he's afraid too? Oh my God, these things are so much. There's so much this week. He's also afraid because Trump had his lawyers, I don't know, he's got like 100 lawyers, send a letter to Congress asking Congress to block the Department of Justice from investigating him with those documents he took home. Like this, come on, Trump. As Biden would say, come on, man. Come on, man. What you thinking? That's what I mean. Talk about weaponizing, trying to weaponize. Like what? This is not you're not the president, Donald Trump. You're a citizen. What in the world is going on? And how is Kevin McCarthy feeling about giving Tucker Carlson all that video footage? And now where's the video footage? Because Tucker Carlson's not with Fox. So Where is it now? Does anybody know? Just out there. What the fuck is going on with Republicans? Like, what the fuck is wrong with people who vote for Republicans? Like, it's a whole shit show. There is just no order. There is just no policy. Like, what the hell? White kids are getting caught up in mass shootings, and they're just like, we don't care. It's not. We will sacrifice whites for white supremacy, for white power. They don't care. They'll sacrifice your kids too. That is why y'all just gotta get on board. Forget the grievance policy, the politics, because they're not fixing inflation. They're not even talking about inflation. But guess what's happening? It's going down. You know what else is down? Unemployment. You know what else is down? Black unemployment. Black male unemployment is at its lowest right now. Jobs are being added. The economy is chugging along without the Republicans' help. They scream about immigration, and border officials are literally saying, help us. We need money. We need money now. We need to get this under control. And Congress says no. But why would they say yes? Because then they wouldn't have anything to whine about. Like, it's a never ending thing with these people. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think about Biden running again? Are you concerned about his age? What do you guys think about Kamala? Do you think she'd be a great president? I'm concerned about Biden's age. Like, I wish we had an alternative, and I don't wish we had an alternative because Biden is, a lot of gaffes and things like that. I just wish we had alternatives, but I also understand that I don't wish we had alternatives now, because who is president for 4 years and then voluntarily says, I'm not going to do another 4 years? Like, is there a president in history that has done that? That doesn't make sense, because your first 4 years, you start and you put a lot of things in motion, and then your second 4 years, you try to close it out. Like, so I don't see anyone voluntarily saying, you know what, I'm just not going to go back. Like, that's just not a thing. He was going to always do that. And I look at it like this. I think, and maybe I'm just corny, I don't know, call me whatever, but, I think Biden's doing us a service. He's doing us a real service. I really don't think this is exactly what he wants to do in his twilight years. This is a lot of work. He is 80 years old. I am pretty sure that he just wants to go somewhere in the sunset and be with his wife, Jill Biden, and live out his years happily and stress-free. So to me, I feel like he is actually sacrificing. He and his family are sacrificing. It's grueling. And when he ran, it was during the pandemic. So he didn't have to do all that traveling. Now he's got to do all the traveling. He's going to be getting sick. He's going to be catching colds every time you hear him talking. He's coughing because he's doing so much traveling, or his voice is gone. So, that's what, I think that kind of makes me sad a little bit, because like, damn, he's 80. And, at that time, I'm not 80, but I'm at an age where I'm like, I just want to chill. Like, I just want to be where I need to be, who I need to be with, and just relax. He 80. He's got to, but you know what? Some people don't need to sit down, because once you sit down, it's all she wrote. It's downhill after that. So I don't know, maybe it's a good thing. I'm happy about it. I appreciate all of you guys. I voted for Jill and will vote for Jill again. I'm with you, Walter. I will too. I will never vote for a Republican ever in my lifetime. At this point, I don't understand why anyone would be a Republican. I can't even separate conservatives, from Republicans. It's just all a mess, because if you're not speaking out about these mass shootings, if you're saying that there's nothing you can do, if you're okay with censoring young lawmakers because they're fighting for your children so that your children aren't being gunned down by AR-15s, but you expel them. So if you're censoring a trans woman from being on the floor and she can only vote via Zoom because she called you out. Like, what? Where are we right now? This is why we need Biden and Kamala and Congress, the House and the Senate. Like, that's the only way we fix all of this. And I know, like, those are a lot of moving parts for us to get. Like, we always get some of it. It's like, oh, we won the presidency. Oh, we got the Senate. Oh, we didn't get the House. Oh, we got the House. Oh, we didn't get the Senate. Like, it's always something. Like, we have to try to get the House, the Senate, and the presidency is ideal, because at that point we can do some of the things that we need to do to stop this. Because, when white supremacy is threatened, it fights back. And that's what they're doing. They are fighting back, and they're going to fight dirty, right? So we're going to have to get down and dirty with them, because they just are going to fight back. Like, they've gotten to a point where they're literally censoring people. I only thought they did that to Blacks. Like, they censor us all the time. Oh, you want to protest? We're going to stop you from protesting. Like, that is what they do to Blacks. Back in the 50s and 60s. Oh, you want to vote? You're helping people vote? We're firing you. That's what they did. But they're doing that right now. They're doing that right now. What was her? Zoe Zephyr, the trans woman in Montana. Again, Montana voted so that children can't get gender affirming care. They don't even know what gender affirming care is. I promise you, they don't know what it is. I promise you, I barely knew what it is. They just knew that it's like, well, it's a queer community. We got to ban it. That's all they know. And she told them during her speech, you're going to have blood on your hands. And they were pissed off because they don't want anyone to call them out and make them uncomfortable, right? Isn't that why Ron DeSantis made that white discomfort bill? You can't have discomfort, can't have white discomfort. Made a whole law about discomfort. They don't want you to make them uncomfortable. So they censor her. You know what gender affirming care is for kids? It could be, she described it, calling a child by their pronouns, right? Which is always hard for me because I'm older. So that's hard when you're telling me you're to use this pronoun and that pronoun. I'm getting it. I'm trying. Just tell me. I'll do it. But there are states that are saying, even if your parent says it's she, call her she, they're saying, we don't care what your parent says. If you're not born a she, that's not what we're calling you. It's not about your belief. You can believe what you want to believe. You can have whatever religion you want to have. That's cool. But why are you encroaching on someone else's, or what they believe, or what a parent wants for their child? That's very impactful. If a child has come to that decision and then you purposely mis-ID them, how do you think the kid feels? Like, how is that helpful? And that's what Zoe meant by blood on your hands, because kids are going to commit suicide. They're going to need all kinds of counseling because they can't get their care. And that means that, no, they're not getting surgeries right now, right? You have to be a certain age, but hormone blockers, right? It's a hormone blocker. Why is that? Who is that hurting? If the parent says it's okay, who is that hurting? Right? And if we start agreeing with that, even as, if we call ourselves Democrats and like, oh, well, I don't agree with that part. that gives them the okay and why they think that they can take away abortion pills. Then it's gonna be birth control pills. Who knows? Maybe they'll stop hysterectomies. Who knows? They won't. It won't stop. If you give them a little bit, they're gonna just keep going and finding ways. Just because. So we just have to be very careful. We have to support these people. We have to keep speaking out. All of that good stuff. I am sorry. I wanted to end at 8:30. It didn't happen like that. You're right, Artie. Cruelty is the point. I say that all the time. They are just really depraved, rabid individuals. And like the other part is, I know we got to get off. I know. But it's like, if you watch the news or read the news lately, it's all like Republican activists or ex-GOP lawmakers getting arrested and going to jail for sexually assaulting minors. That's all that's been on the news this week. I mean, you won't hear that on Fox, but it's all projection. You know, drag queens aren't doing that. Ain't nobody getting raped at the drag show. I just read that a Texas class was going to the theater. A parent got upset because she said that some of the cast will be wearing, I guess, like dresses or the opposite, I don't know, some different gender clothes, and got upset. And they stopped the field trip to the theater. Where do they do that at? Back in the day, it's like, just don't send your kid to school. I don't want my kid to go. And you send your kid home. The whole class has to suffer. So now children aren't going to be able to see the arts because you have some fucking crazy ass, stupid parents that are like, oh, that statue, it's pornographic, or like, that's not art. Like, what? Well, then there shouldn't be Halloween. Nobody should be able to dress up at Halloween. So your kids don't go see Lion King. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, none of it makes any sense. Do y'all watch SpongeBob? SpongeBob is just, I don't know what SpongeBob is. Is that a problem too? Like, it's gotten ridiculous. I hope those Texas parents fight back, because what the hell? So now if I'm in one of these stupid ass schools for my kid to get art, that means I'm going to have to spend money to be taking my kid to the theater so they can get like some type of some culture. Like, I don't know. Anyway, Walter, Artie, Mary, go to sleep. I know you're tired. Michelle, thank you for coming. I miss you, girl. Call me. I will talk to you guys later. I am going to watch the game. See you guys next week. Thank you again for rocking and rolling and listening to me ramble on and on. Have a good night, guys. Bye.